Good morning. Well, this is not how I expected to wake up this morning. After I received the news, Malia walked in and said, "Daddy, you won the Nobel Peace Prize, and it is Beau's birthday." And then Sasha added, "Plus we have a 3-day weekend coming up." So it's good to have kids to keep things in perspective. I am both surprised and deeply humbled by the decision of the Nobel Committee. Let me be clear, I do not view it as a recognition of my own accomplishments, but rather as an affirmation of American leadership on behalf of aspirations held by people in all nations. To be honest, I do not feel that I deserve to be in the company of so many of the transformative figures who've been honored by this prize. Men and women who've inspired me and inspired the entire world through their courageous pursuit of peace. But I also know that this prize reflects the kind of world that those men and women and all Americans want to build. A world that gives life to the promise of our founding documents. And I know that throughout history, the Nobel Peace Prize has not just been used to honor specific achievement, it's also been used as a means to give momentum to a set of causes. And that is why I will accept this award as a call to action, a call for all nations to confront the common challenges of the 21st century. Now, these challenges can't be met by any one leader or any one nation. And that's why my administration's work to establish a new era of engagement in which all nations must take responsibility for the world we seek. We cannot tolerate a world in which nuclear weapons spread to more nations and in which the terror of a nuclear holocaust endangers more people. And that's why we've begun to take concrete steps to pursue a world without nuclear weapons. Because all nations have the right to pursue peaceful nuclear power, but all nations have the responsibility to demonstrate their peaceful intentions. We cannot accept the growing threat posed by climate change, which could forever damage the world that we pass on to our children, sowing conflict and famine, destroying coastlines and emptying cities. And that's why all nations must now accept their share of responsibility for transforming the way that we use energy. We can't allow the differences between peoples to define the way that we see one another. And that's why we must pursue a new beginning among people of different faiths and races and religions, one based upon mutual interest and mutual respect. And we must all do our part to resolve those conflicts that have caused so much pain and hardship over so many years. And that effort must include an unwavering commitment that finally realizes the rights of all Israelis and Palestinians to live in peace and security in nations of their own. We can't accept a world in which more people are denied opportunity and dignity that all people yearn for. The ability to get an education and make a decent living. The security that you won't have to live in fear of disease or violence without hope for the future. And even as we strive to seek a world in which conflicts are resolved peacefully and prosperity is widely shared, we have to confront the world as we know it today. I am the commander-in-chief of a country that's responsible for ending a war and working in another theater to confront a ruthless adversary that directly threatens the American people and our allies. I'm also aware that we are dealing with the impact of a global economic crisis that has left millions of Americans looking for work. These are concerns that I confront every day on behalf of the American people. Now, some of the work confronting us will not be completed during my presidency. Some, like the elimination of nuclear weapons, may not be completed in my lifetime. But I know these challenges can be met, so long as it's recognized that they will not be met by one person or one nation alone. This award is not simply about the efforts of my administration. It's about the courageous efforts of people around the world. And that's why this award must be shared with everyone who strives for justice and dignity. For the young woman who marches silently in the streets on behalf of her right to be heard, even in the face of beatings and bullets. For the leader imprisoned in her own home because she refuses to abandon her commitment to democracy. For the soldier who sacrificed through tour after tour of duty on behalf of someone half a world away. And for all those men and women across the world who sacrifice their safety and their freedom and sometimes their lives for the cause of peace. That has always been the cause of America. That's why the world has always looked to America. And that's why I believe America will continue to lead. Thank you very much.
What did you want to say, Mr. President?
The president not taking any questions, giving his statements, deflecting the attention in a way from himself, saying that he's accepting this for all people, accepting this honor as a call.
Diagrammed this speech before he gave it. He had the little anecdote. He obviously said he accepted it with humility, came right out and said, I don't think I deserve this award, said it was a surprise. But again, as we suspected, a call to action, and he kind of did that laundry list of his agenda, which amounts to, he basically called for world peace, the end to reconciliation of all of the divisions, religious, racial, what have you, talked about climate change. So he kind of went through that laundry list, but I thought it was interesting. He also said, I'm the commander-in-chief. So he doesn't want to come off as some kind of peacenik, right? I mean, he's talking to a domestic audience here. So he's saying, I'm the commander-in-chief. I'm responsible to end one war, referring to Iraq, and directly confront an adversary that is confronting us, that threatens the security of the United States. So it's sort of a shot across the bow. Hey, I'm still engaged here. I know I have to take on Afghanistan, and this in no way affects that.
You know, let's go to Mike Vaquera, who's at the White House. And Mike, as we go to you, I want to put up a browser that we have. If our director can put up, it's the Newsvine vote that's underway right now. And we've got about 928 votes right now. You can all check it out at tv.msnbc.com. But basically, it breaks down to 23% or so say the president has changed the tenor and tone of world diplomacy, but an overwhelming, a vast number are saying 63% no, he has no significant accomplishments. How much do you think the tone of what he just said, which was a very ecumenical tone, he's sharing this award with everybody, is going to quell his critics?
Well, I think ecumenical is a great word for it. I thought it was very interesting that he singled out Aung San Suu Kyi, the Burmese dissident who is imprisoned in her own home by the military junta there, and was careful to single out soldiers who have taken tour after tour of duty in places like Iraq and Afghanistan to help ensure world peace. You know, what could he say? I mean, he was obviously humbled, almost abashed, I would say, in accepting this award, and I thought he did strike just the right tone, because what can you criticize about that? He came out and said he didn't deserve the thing, and was quite conscientious about citing these other people.
Mike, we want to bring in Nora O'Donnell. She's still standing by. And Nora, Savannah pointed out, and we heard the president even try to use a little humor, again, to diffuse the situation at the top, saying that his daughter came in, Sasha, saying that, hey, Daddy, you've won the Nobel Prize, and also it's Bo's birthday.
Exactly. Reflecting, of course, that this is still wanting, I think, him to say that he's still a dad. He's still a normal person, even though he's been awarded this very prestigious honor that only 3 other presidents have been awarded. Bill Clinton, who's been working on peace efforts since he left office, has not been awarded this prize. Nelson Mandela, Elie Wiesel, Al Gore for his efforts, certainly on climate change, have also won this award. And, of course, the president in office just in 9 months. So I think he clearly tried to use these remarks to say, you know, that I'm not worthy, I don't deserve this, as he sort of said, and then talk about, though, that it is a reflection of the aspirations of this world, that at least the hopes and the ideas that he has tried to impart, certainly during the campaign and his presidency, are the types of ideals and hopes that others wish for in the world. And I think, you know, him talking about nuclear disarmament, something he said that may not happen during my presidency or my lifetime, he pointed out, but something that all all of the world must work toward climate change. He said we cannot accept the growing threat of climate change. And then also talking about just opportunity, dignity, the right to education and not to have to face a disease, all of these sort of which are universal values and morals that this president has espoused, that certainly he's going to have a lot to live up to as he faces all of these challenges, and now has been awarded this prize because of the hopes that he talks about.
Cardiovascular surgeon, to be specific. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us.
It's wonderful to be with you.
Before we shoot into health care, I want to get your reaction. Some conservatives have come out saying that this is an embarrassment that the president is receiving this award, saying he does not deserve it. Where do you stand on this honor today for the president?
Well, the committee made a decision to award the president. I think it's a terrific and wonderful honor for the president, and I think he struck the right tone that we have to get back to work. We have a number of major issues in front of us, both domestic and international, and Congress is ready to work with the president to solve those problems.